Welcome to another edition of Sunday Science Shorts and on Science Editor. Today I want to discuss one of the most amazing atoms in the periodic table, carbon. Without carbon, there would be no living matter. As a matter of fact, one branch of chemistry called organic chemistry is based on things that have carbon in them. Now, carbon is very special because it can have many different allotropes. An allotrope is different forms of the atom. In this case of carbon, it has about 500 known different ways of combining. Here I've got an example of 4 very popular ones, and some of the other ones are very obscure, but perhaps some of them are just as important. The amazing thing about carbon, it can unite with another partner carbon in many different forms, either in a square form, a hexagon form, or a pentagon form. I'll discuss each here as we go. Graphite looks like it's made up of atoms that are hexagons, and it behaves much differently than its neighbor because graphite, a lead pencil is not lead, it's graphite. And the graphite, you can see the layers of the molecules that are joined together slide over the other ones, and it's very slippery. However, when it comes to this form, where it's got distorted hexagons joined together to make a crystal, it becomes the hardest known natural material in the world, diamond. Down here is an example of an uncut diamond crystal. What a contrast between graphite and diamond. Switch over to here. Buckmaster Fuller invented this. He made domes of it. For instance, the one maybe at Epcot is similar to this, if not identical, but he made these huge structures based on this. Now the amazing thing is, see this structure right about here is a pentagon. Sorry, that's a hexagon joined to pentagon. So it's circled by hexagons and pentagons all the way around. Wow. Now if they take this, they discovered if you stretch them out, it makes a nano tube. And this, because of the way it's made, is the strongest known material ever made. As a matter of fact, some scientists think, theoretically, you could put a satellite in space and stretch a nanotube, actually a bunch of them put together to be extremely strong, and if it was 25,000 miles an hour, as the planet switched around, the nanotube could use as an elevator to go to at that speed and that distance, it would work. Believe it or not, some people are working on that, but I keep wondering what happens when an airplane runs into it. What happens when there's a hurricane? It's a great idea, but this is the strongest known substance there is. So here we have another thing about carbon. And in chemistry class, they talk about a mole. If you're talking about eggs, you talk about a dozen eggs, because it's a way to count. If you talk about chemistry, you talk about a mole. A mole is just like the word dozen. It's a number, except a dozen is 12. A mole is 6 with 23 zeros after it. How Mr. Avogadro was able to count all those, I'm not sure. But anyhow, everything in chemistry is based on moles, which is similar to a dozen. The interesting thing about that huge number, 6 with 23 zeros after it, is very similar to the number of stars in the universe, because the universe has over 100 billion galaxies, and each galaxy has 100 billion stars. You multiply them together, and it comes up with a number close to that. Thank you very much for viewing. Stay tuned for our next edition of Sunday Science Shorts with the hands-on science center.